Mr. Tony Trigg of the RFU, the referee today, doing his second international match and his first at Cardiff, as Ollie Campbell starts the game for Ireland. If anything, going a little way down the wind, though the playing surface here at the national ground well and truly protected by the high stands. Malcolm Dacey at standoff half for Wales. Magnificent sight, the North Stand. The stage set for what should be a supercharged Celtic clash. At the back, on the left, the Irish have Slattery and Willie Duggan and O'Driscoll, danger man at the end. All men who scored tries against Wales. And there are two of Wales's back row forwards, Butler, 8, and Pickering, the open side flanker. The Welsh front row, Billy James and Graham Price and Staff Jones, and it's Moss Keane receiving a little attention, but Eddie Butler, the Welsh captain, satisfied that the Irishman is okay. Holmes. Under pressure from McGrath, number 9 for Ireland, Duggan round there as well, and Norster and McLaughlin in the foreground exchanging compliments and punches. The temperature is quickly up to boiling point. Holmes again on the Welsh 22. The Irish are judged guilty of dropping the scrum. That would be Orr and Fitzgerald and McLaughlin. Penalty to Wales. Butler has brought up Mark Wyatt, 15. The touch flag is staying down. That's McNeil's kick back to Wyatt. And the Welsh fullback will want to make no mistake this time. That's a better kick by Wyatt. John Williams?
Yes, well, it's a nervous start by both sides, but one thing to note already, that Malcolm Dacey must put these kicks into touch. It's so important that when you kick the touch from a free kick, that it goes in.
Lenihan winning possession for Ireland in front. The throw not straight. Getting to his feet for Wales. One of the flankers, one of the back row men. Free kick going Ireland's way. This is Ireland's scrum half, McGrath. Campbell has come up, and it could be a drop at goal or a high up and under. Wyatt is under it, close to the Welsh goal line. Chased by O'Driscoll, adjudged to have made a mark and awarded a free kick. That is touch, it's a good kick. Wonderful crowd, the day tailor-made for rugby football. And Kieran Fitzgerald to throw to a line close to Wales's 22, where all this early action has been. No quarter is going to be asked or given today, as is usually the case between the two nations. If you happen to be watching in black and white, the Welsh giveaway is the little band of white around the stocking tops. The Irish back row certainly pressurising Holmes early on, and the Cardiff man shows great strength in breaking away towards the Wales 10-metre line. Campbell into space. Wyatt is having a sprint. As Ringland goes into him, so Wyatt finds touch. Ireland offside as they chase the kick ahead by their standoff half. And a comment from John Williams.
Well, I think he was offside. I think it was a late tackle by Ringland on the Mark Wyatt as he kicked the ball into touch.
So the early exchanges, all the pressures come from Ireland, John.
It is, yeah, but interesting to note, Terry Holmes already made his presence felt. He's made that dynamic break, and obviously they must be frightened of this man. He's going to be the big plus in the Welsh side today.
Down close on the pitch, the wind appeared to be practically non-existent, but here's Wyatt, normally a lengthy kicker off the hand, choosing to kick off the ground and safely to touch. And it was noticeable that as the ball rose, you may have seen the breeze tug it back. So there is wind down there. Jerry McLaughlin for Ireland, one of their 6 30-year-olds in the pack. He comes from Shannon. And a test for Norser and Perkins against Keane and Lenihan. Ireland struck the first blood at the line-out, and that's Campbell's clearance. Now Ireland's record point scorer with 169 and 14 points kicked a fortnight ago in the match against France. Number 4 for Wales at a line-out close to halfway is John Perkins. 3 Pontypool men at the front of our view, including Price and Staff Jones. Lenihan beat them all. This is Clive Rees. In touch on the full. Clive Rees of London Welsh, who set up that wonderful Welsh try at Murrayfield, winning a 12th cap for Wales today. So Moskeen, a member of an Irish pack which has made its usual bustling start to the match and managed to put a lot of pressure on Wales in or around their 22 in these first 7 minutes of the match. It's good possession again by Lenihan. Well, not tidy though, although he got high. And Eddie Butler's quickly through. Billy James losing his opposite number, Kieran MacDonald. Being adjudged guilty of an attempt to kill the ball by Mr. Trigg, and Ireland getting a penalty which Campbell will take. It's to be a test for Wyatt, or as it turns out, Elgin Rees. Gallant attempt to counter-attack by the Neath man after the initial error. And here's Enterprise. Dacey draws the man beautifully, gives it to Clive Rees. Wales coming out of defence gallantly. The ball well held by Dacey. Butler's in the movement. The crowd is in raptures. Ireland doing well to rob the Welsh, and then an offence by Wales in the nature of not being bound into the ruck, fringing on the ruck, penalty to Ireland.
I think Wales were a little bit unlucky there. They did well to run that ball out of defence. Malcolm Dacey at least having the confidence to run from almost his own line. The shades of Phil Bennett there, and of course is almost the replica of Scotland almost.
Well, it's to be a big long penalty kick at goal by Hugo McNeill, obviously brought in as the long-range siege gun, where Campbell is saved for the shorter kicks where accuracy is everything. It's a kick of some 53 metres. The scoreboard blank. Can Hugo McNeill put some points on it for Ireland? Very tall. It may reach there. It's a fine kick by McNeill. And the Irishmen at the national ground are absolutely delighted. A very finely judged kick, which just had the legs to cross the crossbar. 3 points to Ireland. They lead at the national ground. Another look at a particularly good kick by any standards. The touch judges waiting to the last second to raise their flags. Which way will Wales restart? Wyatt's way or Dacey's way, number 10? It's a good kick, as it turns out. One of those we saw from Wyatt at Murrayfield, and it traps Ireland down within their 22. Ringland couldn't really gain any ground with his clearance. On the left, Ireland's captain, Fitzgerald. Norster in, and barged against, and Wales' turn to get a penalty. The captain, Eddie Butler, brings up Mark Wyatt. That's the target then to Wyatt, but in games against the Maoris and against England of a representative nature, he's put the ball between the posts on many occasions. Wyatt, a young man who's in his 4th season with Swansea, and I wonder if he's the first Welsh international to have been bred in Crickhall in Powys. Ireland's 3 points on the board in the background. Can Mark Wyatt tie the scores with 3 for Wales? Yes. A neatly judged kick by Mark Wyatt. They're all pressure kicks in a game like this. He stayed cool and he went right through the middle. 3-3. So the opening compliments have been exchanged. It's Ollie Campbell's birthday today, incidentally. He's 29 today. Elgin Rees showing a few signs of butterflies. Good attacking position again for Ireland. .22 line of Wales. Aim for Slattery and Duggan at the back. Holmes found Dacey well, heard the call, had to swing, but put it in the standoff half's hands neatly. Holmes, who was such a tower of strength to Wales at Murrayfield, both as an attacker and a tackler, defender. Butler's at the back for Wales. He'll be against O'Driscoll. 4 for Wales is Perkins on the right. 5 is being worn by Norster. And O'Driscoll fails to gather at the back for Ireland. So the referee adjudging a knock-on set piece. Terry Holmes to put the ball into a scrummage about 6 or 8 metres outside the Welsh 22 line. Butler's held it. I think the attempt is to take a little of the pressure off Holmes. The Irish back row have been getting at him, and that's the better ball. Dacey uses it well. No, it's infield. That's McNeil's big booming reply over the dead ball line. That'll force Wales to drop out 22 and perhaps offer Ireland a good chance of possession.
It's very important for Malcolm Dacey to put his kicks to the touch, as we mentioned earlier. Otherwise, it allows the Irish to come back at the Welsh and put yourselves under pressure.
A dropout 22 by Welsh standoff half Malcolm Dacey. Bobbed back by Norster in the end for Wales, and Holmes, another tremendously interesting pass, evidently sensed where Wyatt was, had to turn and send the ball to the kicker in the best position. And Wyatt has made good ground for Wales. Number 3 for Ireland is McLaughlin. They have Keane just behind him. Phil Orr tucked in with hands on hips. And Lenihan, the midline jumper, against Norster. It's for the back, where Pickering brings one down. Not too tightly, though. The referee's whistle has gone a few metres back. So not straight. Wales' front row, Billy James and 2 members of the Pontypool pack. Price on his 40th cap and Staff Jones on his 2nd. Thick line is halfway. Dacey drawing a man so well and giving Clive Reese just a metre or so of space. But a foot put to it by Ringland with help from O'Driscoll. And it has to be Ackerman who clears. And Rob Ackerman has fallen very awkwardly indeed. And let's hope, John Williams, that there isn't a rib that's busted there or some similar injury.
Well, he looks hurt, actually. He took quite a nasty bang from Ringland. In fact, Ringland's already late tackled someone and hit this boy pretty hard as well, so he's out to create an impression today.
Have another look at what happens. And here's interesting play by Dacey, drawing two men onto him, and there was the glimmering of some space for Clive Reese. He just checked by McGrath so that Campbell could tackle him. Now this is Ringland who gets a boot to it, and let's see what happens when Ackerman bends for his clearance. Got a knee in the middle, but he's okay. Wales is 22. Ireland defending at the line. Wales getting the relieving penalty. Wyatt brought up to take the kick. It's going to be another place kick. The idea, the emphasis being upon safety and making sure of the touch finder. We've seen one or two go astray from the Welsh point of view during the afternoon, and Wyatt makes no mistake with that one. It turns out to be a very good kick indeed. John Williams, a quick comment.
Well, Moss Keane has already taken a couple of bangs in the head. Obviously, Norster and Perkins are out to make an impression today. They're not worried about all the caps these boys have got.
Moss Keane, Ireland's veteran lock forward, 46 caps in a series or a sequence which began back in 1974. Campbell. For the first time, David Irwin gets the ball, Ireland's centre, and that's awkward for Wyatt. The rugby ball is always apt to deceive, and Irwin delivered the kick well, and the bounce was difficult indeed for Mark Wyatt. Seven on the right for Wales at the back. David Pickering of Llanelli winning a third cap. And having to chase out now on Campbell, who sends the ball to Mick Kiernan. And that's another test for Wyatt, right under it. Expert work by the fullback. That was really a tremendous test for Wyatt. The ball coming down right under the Welsh posts. He had to be brave and accurate, get the wind right, and then put in the clearance under pressure. And he did it all right. Well, he's suffered for that, just twisting an ankle as he got under the ball. But John Williams, all the 14 players in front of Wyatt would have had a good warm glow at the work he did then.
Yes, no doubt about it. Must be the Irish tactics all afternoon to pump it up and see how vulnerable Mark is. But of course, so far he's done remarkably well, and this must give him a lot of confidence on the Welsh side in front of him.
A pretty difficult ball for anyone.
It was very difficult. He was going back with his head, he was off balance, and then he finds a very good kick from the middle of the field, which is quite difficult under pressure.
A penalty goal to each side, 18 minutes into this tempestuous match. Pickering competing for Wales at the end of the line, doing just enough to deny the Irish swift possession. Not a tall man, Pickering, but he got off the ground. And the Irish have infringed around the edge of the incomplete line-out and been penalised. Wyatt still limping slightly and unable perhaps to get quite as firm a platform as he would like, but still finding touch, which is the important thing, close to the halfway line. In the background, Kieran Fitzgerald, Ireland's captain, on his 13th cap today, calling a shortened line. It's the army officer with the snub nose close to the halfway line. Norster read it well. That's Price. That's Squire not being able to hold on to the pass from his clubmate. A knock-on called, a put into Ireland. The propping we're looking at in this half is Staff Jones of Pontypool for Wales against Jerry McLaughlin of Shannon for Ireland. Robbie McGrath just inside Welsh territory. Duggan swinging the scrummage and seemingly about to pick up and give to McGrath. And that was Mick Kiernan on the narrow side, number 12 for Ireland. A pick up by Duggan, who began it all. He finds Finn out close to touch. Now Ireland switch the direction. A lightning pass from Campbell. Back to Kiernan. This is Owen trying to pick up speed. Ringland is infield. Ackerman has him covered. So has Clive Rees. But Irwin serves O'Neill. There might be a try here. The ball goes forward from O'Neill over the Welsh line. There won't be a try, but it was a near thing. That's a taste of Ireland's midfield brilliance and a severe test for the Welsh defence. There seems to be a hold-up, and John Williams, that was pretty rapid movement from Ireland. Another angle.
I think you'll find here that Ringland could have given the ball. He dummied. Actually, I think there was someone outside him who could have scored.
It was, as it turns out, it was Slattery who scored against Wales here a couple of years back. But no try, but Wales under great pressure under the great East Terrace. And certainly the Welsh defence looking a little bit at odds. Let's think back a little bit further, John. It was a lightning bit of work by Finn and Campbell over on the left flank, wasn't it? Quick thinking, which altered the direction of the attack completely.
Yes, it was, and it's interesting to note that Ireland, if they get the opportunity, are willing to throw the ball about and use the whole of the field.
I wonder whether Ireland will go for a pushover try. There's a lot of Irish support on the terrace above them. Dangerous moments for the Welsh, but Holmes, in the middle of our view, doesn't seem too worried, and he feels that the ball's safe for the moment. Great deal depending on the put-in, and again it's to be a Welsh one. And these will, the instability of the scrummage demonstrating the determination of the props to be comfortable. The one side to defend, the other side to try and drive their opponents into disarray. A great chance for Ireland. Let's watch for the 8-man shove by the visitors. Wales having to retreat. Butler swings the scrum to take pressure off. Ireland have got men there. They've got lots of options. With Ringland 14 in the foreground, looking for a chance to pounce. But Ireland infringe right on the Welsh goal line. A little over-eagerness and a hand at work at the bottom of the ruck. And my word, Wales will be grateful for this penalty. They did well to survive then, although they were certainly pushed, and they'll want to dig their heels in a little bit more firmly at the next scrummage. The Irishmen, with all their caps, certainly scrummaging very well indeed this afternoon. The clearing kick then by Mark Wyatt, a safe touch finder. John Williams, that will have had the Welsh fans' hearts in their mouths.
It's good defending by Wales actually, but it's interesting to note we had a bit of pressure in the scrums.
Over the top it is for quick thinking Campbell. The referee seemingly playing advantage, deciding that there won't be any for Wales and calling the teams back to the set piece. Well, certainly in this first part of the game, it's been all Ireland. The territorial dominance by the visitors has been considerable, and Wales have penetrated Irish territory, I would think, off the top of my head, about twice. Great start to the match then by Ireland's aged warriors. It's 3-3 at the national ground, a penalty goal to each side. Wyatt and O'Neill have exchanged penalties. Wales defending on their 22. Dacey, under pressure from Campbell, is short. This is Finn. Another test for the dependable Wyatt, who's called for the ball and cleared it. The Welsh fullback, after one or two anxious moments early on, has settled down and under great pressure is playing very coolly indeed. Quarter an hour of the first half remaining. Fitzgerald has been throwing long on the whole, aiming for Duggan at the back against Butler. And there was barging at the rear end of the line by Wales in their attempt to deny the Irish possession. They've been penalised. Certainly this has been championship rugby by Ireland, a great deal of pressure on the Welsh, searching for mistakes, and to Wales's credit they haven't drawn too many from them. But this is one, and Campbell may punish Ireland's opponents.
This is just what they should not have done before the game. They've been told enough about it to give penalties away 40 yards out against this man. It's interesting to note that they're thrown to the back of the line out. They've obviously, almost every time that the Irish, so they obviously think there's a weakness at the back of the Welsh line.
Could perhaps be the fact that Pickering is not anywhere near as tall as his Irish opponents. Campbell kicks for goal then. Can he put Ireland into the lead? Yes, he can. (6-3) to the champions at the national ground. All the points so far having come from penalties. Ollie Campbell's first, following the one a little earlier by fullback Hugo McNeill. Well, certainly Wales have yet to assert them any authority at all on the game, and they're at full stretch just to contain the energy and the exuberance of the Irishmen. Wyatt's restart. Ringland's clearance has no length. That's Ireland's right wing, Trevor Ringland from Ballymena, Willie John McBride's club, 23-year-old right wing. Wales has turned to struck the line. Norster's the back man, but Squire is running onto it, number 6. How well can he distribute? Wales go for the ruck, but Ireland have offended. They're penalised right beneath their posts. We clearly saw how Wales wanted to ruck, were prevented from doing so by an Irish hand on the wrong side, and that's what's cost Ireland this penalty attempt to Wyatt. From here it looks so easy, but my goodness, John Williams, even posts like that can look so narrow in a match like this.
Well, these are the most difficult kicks of the lot. If you miss a 50-yard one, no one can say much, but these are the ones you've got to put over. There's a lot of pressure on the young lad.
Mark Wyatt now has 17 points for Wales in his championship games. This is our shot then from the west end, the tough end of the ground. The flags are up, the scores are level. It seems to me that practically only twice, or at the very most 3 times, have Wales been within range of the Irish posts. Each time Wyatt has struck a penalty goal, so you can say that Wales are on level terms, much against the run of play. 6-6 at the national ground. Quick thinking by Campbell. Clive Rees, though, is too skilled to be fooled by anything like that. Ackerman's pickup. The referee calling an infringement in the nature of a throw forward. He being on the spot didn't quite appear like that to all views. Robbie McGrath with the ball in his hands, Ireland's tough little scrum half. A much smaller man than Terry Holmes, 5'9", but still a tough scrum half. Ireland have strength on the narrow side below our view, and Campbell may be coming down this way. But a great drive, a great scrummage drive by the men in red. Only the number 8, only Butler can pick up now, and he does, and he finds Holmes. And Holmes goes into McNeill, and that's all the Irish fullback can do. And what the crowd are particularly pleased about, the home crowd, is that evidence of Welsh determination and graft at the scrum, the set scrum. James Ames for Norster, magnificent, majestic take. For the first time, Wales move the ball. Ackerman loses his footing. The top of the playing surface a little slippery. And the Welshman infringing with a hand at the developing ruck. And Wales penalised 45 metres out from their posts. Campbell inevitably advances to accept the ball and tell the referee he'll kick it goal. Dead centre of the field. Perhaps the suggestion of a breeze behind him. Campbell's career for Ireland, a very interesting one indeed. It's his 19th cap today, and they all began in 1976, and then there was a big gap until 1979 when he picked up momentum again. And in his 18 previous games, that's all it had taken him to crack Kiernan's point-scoring record for Ireland. We look from the city end of the national ground at Campbell's latest kick at goal. It's long, it's high, but it's off target. And a great deal of relief in the reaction of the home crowd as the scores remain tied at 6-6. But that was a warning to Wales, a reminder, anywhere in their own half, Campbell's kicking boot is a threat. Dacey puts his dropout 22 well within reach of the red pack. Squire takes a hand. Ireland infringing on the ground, not rolling away to make room for the Welsh to ruck. Wales get the penalty. Willie Duggan, the number 8. So just a reminder that a certain amount of breeze at the national ground, enough to make Mark Wyatt wish to place the ball to make 100% certain of his touch finder. Moskeen, behind him O'Driscoll and Duggan, and at the very end Fergus Slattery, the most capped flanker in the world. Away goes Holmes, testing Slattery's mettle. He's distributed expertly. James plays the part of scrum half. That's the Ackerman chip into the 22. It's accurate. Ackerman has a kind of John Dawes-like gift for seeing the game with a big wide lens and picking his spot. Ireland have stripped the line. Wales' best chance to look for a try during the match so far. Can Robert Norster beat Lenihan for possession up the line? It's untidy, and McGrath is in trouble over the Irish line. And now for the first time in the match, the champions are under pressure, and the crowd will tell them so. This time it'll be Wales who want the big scrummage drive, as they showed about 5 minutes ago. They're capable of it. Butler's control. Holmes. One dummy. Has he opened up the attack? Wales going to score! Wales are in the lead, and they've scored a very good try indeed. The crowd is delirious. Mark Wyatt scores his first try for Wales.
This is a great try. Good run by Terry Holmes. A couple of switches. The long pass to David Richards. It is a beautiful pass to Mark Wyatt, and he finds the gap, and there it is, under the post. It's going to be 6 points.
And he's right there to see whether he can make it worth the extra 2. It shouldn't be any problem. His morale must be tremendously high. We look from the tough end of the ground. The try is worth 6. Suddenly Wales have jumped to 12-6. And John Williams, it was almost the first time that the Irish line had been threatened.
Yes, but the last 10 minutes Wales have scrummaged a lot better, and they've won a couple of 200 catches in the line out. Here's the try again. This is a very good pass by David Richards, because he puts his Mark Wyatt outside his man. Excellent try.
Campbell restarts. Terry Holmes doing it the careful way. But then his kick is loose. McNeil gathers. Wyatt comes in. Brilliant work again by the fullback. Good distribution. Holmes gets a boot to it. Ireland backpedaling again. Ringland is there to accept from Campbell. This is a different Wales from that which we saw in the first quarter now of the match. They've got rid of their butterflies. They've got rid of any awe they may have felt for the distinguished visitors, and they're taking the game to Ireland. Great strike by Billy James. Dacey draws a man again, puts Wyatt into a little bit of space. It's dangerous. Clive Rees, can he get his first try for Wales? He might still do it. The referee is very close to the scene. Number 11 so close to a first try. The face impassive, but he will have wished that the bounce had been a little kinder to him. Anyway, there'd been an infringement on the line, probably in the nature of a wriggle by Clive Rees, and Campbell gets a chance to clear the lines. We look again from the West End at Dacey and that great ability to draw a man and put someone else into space. And now Clive Rees' opportunism. That's where Ireland get their relieving penalty. Wales on their opponent's 10-metre line. They've got confidence. Butler backs up Dacey. The ball is forward, close to Ireland's 22. Fitzgerald and McLaughlin and Orr, 3 30-year-olds in the Irish front row. And the crowd is beginning to sing. That's touch from Campbell.
Come on, lad, keep the pressure on. Come on, Wales.
That's how it is. Wales have scored the try. The other points are from penalties and Wyatt's conversion of his own try. 12-6 to Wales at the national ground. Squire getting involved at the line. And a penalty going Wales's way as an Irishman got onto the wrong side, perhaps fringing on the edge of the ruck. And Wyatt's here again. So it'll be a long kick, in contrast to the last couple he's put over, the short penalty and the short conversion. But my goodness, there'll be a noise from the western end of the ground if Wyatt strikes again. Wyatt's making a monopoly of the Welsh scoring this afternoon. 12 already by him. Will this be 15? It starts well, and then it curves to the left. And the Welsh lead remains at 12 points to 6 over the champions. That's a sign that a little bit of Irish self-confidence has been disturbed. Campbell doesn't often make mistakes like that. The ball straight into touch. The Welsh able to choose a scrummage back. Presumably Wales also now feeling that they have the confidence to take on the Irish 8 and maybe ease them back, which is all you need to do to win this kind of possession. Dacey accelerates, opens the gap, looks for support. Kieran came away. The ball reaches Ringland, crossing halfway. He's got Wyatt to beat. He's got great speed. A marvellous tackle. Campbell is in very close support. Tremendous Irish counter-attack. And one of the first tackles Mark Wyatt's had to make for Wales in his international appearances, and he did it exceedingly well. People have criticised Wyatt for not having too much pace, but he needed it then, and he showed it. Ireland come back to the Welsh 22 to launch an attack. Wales beginning to cope well with the Irish line-out threat. And the sprinkling of infringements in the last 10 minutes JJ, John Williams, have come from the Irish, not from the Welsh. What's that a sign of?
That's right, they look as if they're losing a bit of confidence, they're a little bit rattled, and Wales, they begin to dominate the forward exchanges. They're winning nearly all the line-outs now through Bob North. The game has changed dramatically.
So as he has done throughout the half, Mark Wyatt placing his line kick to make sure of it. Eddie Butler and the Welsh crowd happy at the national ground as Wales seem likely to go into the interval with a lead of 12-6. We have just moved into injury time. Terry Holmes about to put the ball in just inside Welsh territory. McGrath gets a toe to it. Clive Rees reads the situation well, gets there quickly but knocks on. We've had more than 1 minute of injury time. Robbie McGrath glances towards Campbell, who's on this side of the scrummage, on the blind side. Duggan picks up, feeds McGrath. Campbell is there, a dummy, and puts Ringland into space. Holmes is across to cover, so is Eddie Butler. Campbell again delighting the crowd, number 10 on the left, with that ability just to ghost through a gap, show the ball to a tackler and move away from him. Wales is 22. Duggan bobs the ball down. This is Phil Orr, number 1 of Ireland's props. Jerry McLaughlin, the other prop, arrived there. Moss Keane holding the ball like a lemon in that big run paw of his. O'Driscoll, 7, fell for Ireland, tidied the possession up. That's Campbell. This is Kiernan. Well tackled indeed by Elgin Rees, who'd come early to the threatening point. Kiernan sets off again. Slattery was outside him, 6 for Ireland. Number 4 is there, Lenihan, the youngest member of the Irish pack. McGrath tries to penetrate the Welsh back row. Holmes picks his spot, places it behind the Irish defence. That's Moss Finn going back all the way into the Irish 22. The ball is free for Elgin Rees to pick up and look inside for Ackerman. Ireland in dead trouble. Very close indeed to their corner flag, but indeed the referee has called a set piece way back near the 10-metre line of Ireland. John Williams, what was the reason for that? Something happened off the ball, did it?
Well, there must have been. The touch judge will surely show it, but he's missed it as well, looks like it. But this is tremendous tackling by the Welsh team. The Irish tried switching it all ways, and each time they found 2 or 3 Welshmen there. The Welsh spirit at the moment is sky high. It's tremendous at the moment. Let's just hope they can keep it going until half-time. A couple of seconds left.
It is a fact that only 2 members of this Irish 8 are under the age of 30. There must be question marks over the second half. Well, it's half-time anyway. The whistle has gone. We reach the interval. A very satisfactory half for Wales, having survived immense early pressure to lead by 12 points to 6. And the one try of the half has come from the Welsh. Well, John, we were just raising the subject of how things might go in the second half, and I was emphasising that this is an elderly pack. They call it Dad's Army.
Yes, they came out onto the field here, and I think they've underestimated the Welsh. They certainly dominated the first quarter of an hour, but suddenly the game changed with Bob and Auster winning, dominating the line-outs. Now scrummaging improved enormously, and resulting in Wales now dominating the game.
Well, we've paused there, John. We'll be back here at the National Ground shortly. Let's just rejoin Bob Humphries in the studio.
Well, it's certainly been Mark Wyatt's day so far, but we can give you now the result of the 2:15, the Greenall Whitley Brewery steeplechase from Haydock Park. A first right-hand man, 9-4 favourite, second Fortina's Express, 25-1, and third Brown Chamberlain, 9-2. The news from Twickenham is that England are 3-0 up, but now it's a drop goal there from John Horton in the very first minute. But now I think it's time to go back to the National Stadium and rejoin David Parry-Jones.
Well, John Williams, as the former Wales wing, has been sitting with me throughout the play at the National Stadium. This was a gilt-edged try, and you were complimentary to David Richards.
Yes, this is an old move. Arthur Lewis started this move, but they passed it out wider than we used to. And David did really well to slip his ball to Mark Wyatt to put it outside his opposite centre and go into the post.
And Wyatt had to produce a sidestep as well to wrong foot Moss Finn.
That's right, yeah. No, we've criticised Mark Wyatt for being too slow, but twice in this game he's looked quite sharp, and I won't criticise him for being too slow again.
Just one final remark. The players moving off towards the kick-off, but what has taken you in the last 40 minutes has been the change in fortunes at the set pieces.
That's right. You know, Bob Norster certainly dominating the line-out now, but we're also scrummaging well. The first dozen scrums, Ireland were twisting the Welsh on the Welsh put in, but now Wales are holding their own, and now they're disrupting the Irish as well. And the Irish are certainly looking rattled at the moment.
Just got news down from Twickenham that it's 3-3 in the Calcutta Cup match, England against Scotland. There is still sunshine at the National Stadium, and in this final 40 minutes it'll be shining in Ireland's eyes. Mark Wyatt about to restart this exciting international with another of these long kicks which he aims successfully towards the opposing corner flag, and he's drawn a mistake from Campbell at the beginning of the half. The referee calls the set piece up close to the goal line. Well, this is a wonderful chance for Wales to advance their lead at the best possible time at the beginning of the new half. Could it be Holmes, who has a try up his sleeve? Ireland know how dangerous he is. Look at the back row, poised to stop him if they can. If they can! He's got a try! You wouldn't believe it, would you? They were all waiting for him, and somehow Cardiff's Iron Man got through half the Irish pack to score the second Welsh try. Terry Holmes, the crowd rises to him. Here's how they saw it on the East Terrace. It's all about strength, John Williams.
Well, there's no stopping this man. It was tailor-made for him. Interesting to note that Ollie Campbell dropped that easy kick-off. You know, just shows how rattled the Irish are at the moment. And there's no stopping Terry Holmes with 5 yards to go.
16-6 with the conversion attempt to come. And so far, it's been a good afternoon for Mark Wyatt. And will this be 2 more points to the fullback? Again, our view from the East Terrace as Wyatt goes for the conversion attempt. He's had a lot of help from woodwork this season, but that time the posts not obliging Mark Wyatt. Another view, John, of the try.
Yes, there he is. Everyone knew he was doing it. He takes Fergus Slattery over, takes half the Irish back with him, and all the Welsh boys straight over the top.
You watched Gareth Edwards doing that a lot, of course.
He must have, yes.
The try failing to be converted, so the dropped shot restarting the game. Plenty of confidence. Wales moving the ball from their 22. Wyatt in possession. Must be like music in the ears of the 15 Welshmen. The play is inside Ireland's 22. Norster gets up so high, Butler completes the job. Holmes goes into Fitzgerald. Still in possession. It's very vertical. It'll come down just inside the 22. Squire competing for it, not quite timing his jump. That'll do for Wales. Dacey dropping for goal. It's off target. And here's a chance. Ireland have made it safe through Finn, but only just. And I think there's no doubt, John Williams, that Ireland are full of butterflies.
They certainly are rattled at the moment, and this is the chance now for us to go further ahead. Now we must take advantage of them.
A set piece on Ireland's goal line. Holmes for a Welsh put-in. Butler the pickup. Squire the Pontypool rolling infield. It's now out with Dacey. This is Ackerman altering the angle. He could go all the way. Pickering takes up the running. Wales are rampant. They're looking for a try. There must be one there somewhere. Squire will go for the line. He's scored, has he? He's been held just short. And he's played the ball after the tackle and he's been penalised. Bad luck for Wales. Jeff Squire's so near to a try. That's Campbell's clearance. Relief for Ireland. Here's Jeff Squire's attempt, and let's see how very close he gets to a try. You almost feel if he'd stretched, he'd have made it. Wales leave the 4 men there. Ireland have to pull their flankers back towards the line, but unfortunately Billy James can't quite keep his throw straight. Number 2, James, the thrower in, and in his matches for Wales so far, he's thrown well to the lineouts. It's important, but that wasn't good. Ireland's 22. Campbell, even he not quite on target. Elgin Rees going the long way round. That will do. And it's no bad thing, of course, that Elgin Rees changed the play away from the forwards, and the more Wales can run the elderly Irishman around the pitch this afternoon, the rosier their chances will grow. Wales have Pickering 7, Butler 8, Squire 6, Norster crouching, wearing 5, number 1 Staff Jones. That was Norster up, not quite timing the jump, but Billy James comes away, feeds David Pickering. He's held by Slattery and O'Driscoll. Wales go ruthlessly for the ruck, and a couple of compliments exchanged by Perkins and Moskeen. But you wouldn't expect a match of this level, this importance, to pass without a few punches being thrown. The spirit is good. This set piece is inside Ireland's 22, but a crooked feed by the Welsh scrum half. A free kick to Ireland to be taken by Campbell. It's loose for Wyatt to use. Hugo McNeil is under it. And that's a very bad kick by the Irishman. And the touch flag is up. John Williams, what about those exchanges?
It's interesting to know that Ollie Campbell has missed a couple of kicks to touch, and if he is rattled, then what chance have Ireland got now?
Norster takes well. Dacey to Ackerman. Richards. They put Wyatt again into space. He chips ahead for Elgin Rees. It's behind Finn. It's awkward for Ireland. Elgin Rees scored a try. You won't see a broader grin than that. Elgin Rees, Wales' 3rd try and his 6th for his country, and he's thanking Mark Wyatt for the expertly weighted kick. John Williams.
Well, here we have the confidence of the boys. They're throwing the ball out the wing. It's just we wanted to see them do for the last couple of seasons. A nice kick through for Mark, and Elgin's shown his blistering speed to come up, and he can't believe he's got the ball in his hands, and I'm over the line.
Here he is, remarkable try scoring, 6 tries, not a bad record for Wales, John.
Well, he's had a lot of injuries, our Elgin, but it's nice to see him come back and do so well, and I think he's having his best ever season this season. He's a far better winger now.
Wales' fullback Mark Wyatt entrusted with the conversion of the try that he helped to make. They won't quite oblige him by drifting in, and Wales' score remains at 20 points to 6, but that's not a bad share.
Well, we've criticised Wales for no wingers scoring consecutive matches. Now they've scored 2 good tries.
It's the dropout then, with Wyatt's conversion off target. 20 points to 6, Wales lead. Another view of Elgin Rees's try. And the Welsh backs really moving the ball very, very well indeed. The centres don't mess around, and Wyatt's plenty of time to weight that kick expertly. Ireland's defence at fault. This set scrummage is on the halfway line. Holmes bends. The scrummage dropped, and the Welsh alleged to have offended. Graham Price getting the finger. So remarkably, in the period of about quarter of an hour, suddenly Wales have left Ireland at the post. And the champions have got an enormous amount of ground to make up. Hugo McNeill, who kicked a very long-range early penalty to put Ireland in the lead at the beginning of the afternoon, is to take this one from 52 metres. Ireland could do with 3 points from O'Neill, but it is a tremendously demanding kick. What breeze there is against him. And Holmes and Wyatt between them are going to make the ball dead. Well, that's interesting. Richards can pick his spot. Plays it behind Finn. McNeill. Richards has followed up and does well behind Campbell. And Campbell has given it to Irwin. Long striding Irish centre. Phil Orr, number 1 for Ireland, is with the attack. McGrath to Campbell. And that's a cunning chip for Finn to chase. It's behind Elgin Rees. 14 for Wales. 10 minutes of the second half gone. A dramatic 10 minutes for Wales, seeing 2 important tries. Now Ireland are trying to get their way, claw their way back into the game. Wales's goal line. Slattery brought it down on Ireland's side. Number 9 for Ireland. McGrath waits. The captain, number 2, Fitzgerald, goes in. Keane completes the job. McGrath trying to draw defenders, but the Welsh tackling is still good. And number 5, Robert Norster, a lock forward, has the stamina to help the defence. And Holmes puts in the clearance. Well, Eddie Butler with hands on hips. John Williams took a lot of stick after the England game, but it's not a bad side that he's leading now.
Well, full credit to Eddie. As you say, he's had a lot of criticisms, but you know, he proved us all wrong in Scotland, and here it is today again. He's got his Welsh forwards working 100%, and they really are prepared to die for the Welsh jersey, which is a sign of a good captain.
This is a nice moment to pay a tribute to Jerry Lewis, who's on the field. There's the score, 26. Jerry Lewis on the field, Wales's physiotherapist. In his 101st international, sitting on the bench for Wales, and I'm sure you've had many a massage of calf and thigh muscles from Jerry.
That's right. Jerry is a great lad, you know. He's part of Welsh rugby now himself. Gareth Edwards owes him 52 caps, so he keeps telling me.
Squire not able quite to compete with O'Driscoll. And Phil Orr is out there in the midfield for Ireland. Willie Duggan there, number 8, got with him as well. Ireland have shaken off a cobweb or two, and they're starting to put some rugby together. Moss Keane, what a great sight, going almost as far as the Welsh 22. The referee blows for the set piece. And the champions show what they're made of and remind the Welsh that they cannot relax. Their lead may be 14 points, but they mustn't sit on it. This is Dacey. Oh, a mistake by Wyatt. McGrath quick to punish him. O'Driscoll picks up, gives it to Ringland. Clive Rees covers him. Dacey is across here as well. The touch flag, held by Roger Quittington, is up on the Welsh corner flag. A lapse or two of concentration by Wales under the great West Stand. And a chance for Ireland to get a point or two back. The ball in the safe hands of Jeff Squire, number 5 Norster, trying to help and encourage Ireland to get back to their own side of the ball. A great chance then for Ireland to strike back. The scrummage is on their opponent's goal line. The nerves are showing as the front rows go to earth. McGrath's input. Holmes wondering if he can pressurise him. There could be a pick-up and score here by Duggan. The referee has a good look. O'Driscoll's trying. He scored once against Wales a couple of years ago, but not just now. Well, Wales haven't experienced pressure like this for some 20 minutes, 25 minutes. 20 points to 6. Wales lead at the national ground, but Ireland looking very, very dangerous, having raised a fresh head of steam. Number 9 for the visitors, Robbie McGrath, about to put the ball in, hoping that Fitzgerald can make no mistake with the strike. And the longer Ireland keeps scrummaging, the more pressure they're putting on Wales, inviting them to make a mistake. McGrath bends. Duggan is the pick-up man. O'Driscoll, number 7, backs him up. And the penalty is awarded out close to touch for an offside decision against Clive Rees, Wales's left wing. He just stepped in front of the scrimmage. So what are Ireland up to? It's going to be a ploy. Their captain holds the ball, Kieran Fitzgerald. But Campbell arrives for a kick at goal.
Well, Ireland need the points. Even 3 points is so important to them now. They're going to have to score twice after this anyway. So if they're going to score, they're going to have to score now because they're leaving it quite late.
15 minutes of the second half have gone then as Campbell weighs up a kick at goal from allowing for the angle some 35 metres. We can have a look at the expertise of the Irishman from our cameras at the tough end of the ground. Campbell just the one penalty and a couple of misses too during the game. This for 9 points to Ireland. Flags are up, Campbell strikes, and Ireland get reward for a great deal of pressure. They probably would have preferred the try which eluded them, but 3 points will do for now. But still, the point is that they are still 2 scores behind. However, they've interrupted the triumphant Welsh march for the time being. The Welsh pack then seeking to pick up the momentum which they've momentarily relinquished. Campbell with the clearance. John Williams' reflections on the past few minutes.
Well, Wales have dropped the tempo a little bit and have allowed Ireland to come back into it. They must keep this quick tempo up that they've had going for the last 3 quarters an hour of the game. This is the only chance they've got of running these old warriors out.
Ireland's 22. Duggan beaten. Price takes out the running. Finds Holmes. Holmes looks to men in space. Pickering links, Ackerman links, Elgin Rees with the ball again. Ackerman back in possession, can't quite gather. Knock on, set piece, not far from Ireland's line. Again, imaginative work by the Welsh backs, and good linking by Pickering from the flank back on the other side of the field. So Ireland have to scrum down close to their own goal line. Can they make sure their own ball? They wheel to take the pressure off. And Holmes hovers near McGrath to try and make life difficult for him and Campbell. Pickering goes out on Campbell, but Ireland's standoff half is cool and accurate. The East Terrace has had a lot of excitement to bring it to really to its toes this afternoon, and Wales keep the pressure on the square. Feeds Butler, they drive towards Ireland's line, the ball's loose, and Irwin, number 13 for Ireland, is quick to fall, but they've carried over. There'll be a set piece a few metres out. So here's a set piece where Wales hold all the cards and Holmes holds the ball. There's a lot of room on the narrow side if he wants to use it. And Elgin Rees is there. Dacey's coming this way, so is Wyatt. The whistle goes though, and Wales drop the scrummage, presumably to protect the possession. And perhaps Staff Jones was guilty, the loose head prop. Anyway, Ireland will be grateful for this relieving penalty. Campbell plays it away to touch. Certainly it seems that the lesson of the last minute or two is that Wales have realised that Ireland have still got fight and stuffing in them, and they're determined not to let them off the hook. More pressure from Wales. This time it's Butler. An Irish hand seeks to prevent the Welsh ruck. Ireland are on the wrong side of it, and they are penalised by Mr. Trigg. O'Driscoll, the offender. And Butler has called up Wyatt, who tells the referee he'll kick at goal. 10 metres in from touch, perhaps a little more. And some 30 metres out. Certainly remarkable, John Williams, that last season Gwyn Evans performed so well for Wales from your part of the world. Injuries interrupted his progress, and then the selectors found this man.
Yes, with the Lions tour coming off, you know, could well be now that Mark Wyatt has booked a place after today, and even Gwyn Evans could well go as well, because Hugh McNeil has done nothing.
A penalty attempt then from 30 metres by Mark Wyatt, Wales' fullback. It's 29 at this moment in time, and it stays 29 because Wyatt is off target to the right. It'll be a dropout, 22 to Ireland. There are 20 minutes of the match left. A match in which so far Wales have pleased their supporters no end. And they're seeking now to finish the job in this final quarter of the game. They lead by 20 points to 9. Ireland have tightened their game since the interval, and they're making it a little harder for Wales. That's Big Moss Keane, number 5, trying to roll them all clear in the direction of touch. Terry Holmes, number 9 for Wales, can't intercept. Here's Campbell into space. Holmes was waiting for it, and he's got the strength to set up a counter-attack. The play taking place on Ireland's 10-metre line. They move away through Campbell. Clever work. Pickering couldn't quite fall, but here's Richards with a saving run. And the kick which could still tax the Irish. Finn has hold of the ball. A Welshman is offside. Elgin Rees beginning his challenge in front of the kicker, David Richards. And Mr. Trigg calling the players back for a set scrum. What about the game that Holmes has had, John Williams?
Well, it's just hope he's not doing too bad at the moment. You know, he's always the difference between the two sides, isn't he? And he never would have thought that on Thursday he was struggling to play the game with his shoulder injury. He's having a tremendous game as usual. He's worth 3 players in himself.
I was saying earlier that he spent a lot of his rugby formative years watching the great Gareth Edwards, and he's picked up a lot from the great man.
Yes, he has, you know. This is where he's got his strength from watching Gareth, obviously. But he's a different shape to Gareth. He's a different sort of player. I think his work rate is even greater than Gareth's, if anything.
Robbie McGrath to feed a set scrummage on the halfway line. Campbell. O'Neill makes a mistake on Ireland's 10-metre line. He may not have knocked on. McGrath seeking to come away, but the referee was playing advantage. There had been an Irish knock-on by their fullback McNeil. The set scrum is on the Irish 10-metre line. Strike by Billy James, a bit violent even for Holmes to pick up. It's not a bad kick, could be out of McNeil's reach, but he does well to swing it inside to Ringland. And Ireland stayed cool, gained a few metres, earned some applause from the crowd. That's how it is at the national ground. Wales in the driving seat, 20 points to 9. And how long left on our stopwatch? 15 minutes remaining. Norster, one of those great takes at the top of his leap. Dacey moves the ball. Richards, a great pass to Elgin Rees. Tries to get outside Finn. Follow-up from Ackerman, who's held by Hugo McNeil, 15 for Ireland. The ball's there for Wales to use again. Sent in and failed by Elgin Rees. Richards draws a man. Dacey. Clive Rees. Can he get outside Ringland? Nobody makes the ball available, and Ireland begin a counter-attack through Campbell. They don't quite get as far as the halfway line. Thrilling stuff. Ireland are fighting for their lives at this moment. That's Ringland, their right wing. He's found some space. The Irishman in the crowd cheer him on. Butler gets back for Wales. He's not rolled away, he's been penalised. A penalty award then to Ireland, some 15 metres from touch. Not a difficult kick. Meanwhile, a long way away in the Irish half, and the crowd drawing referee Triggs' attention to him, Malcolm Dacey, who got a bump in that furious bit of Welsh attacking. John Williams, one, has been impressed by Malcolm Dacey, growing in authority as he plays more games for Wales, and he does have this great ability to draw a man and put someone into space, doesn't he?
Yes, he's like John Bevan. He runs forward and gets the line going really well. He's good. He's turned out to be a good player. As I see Eddie Butler doing some great covering there. He's had a lot of criticism for Eddie, but he's having a tremendous game today. This game is very quick, you know, there's a lot of action going on.
And it's to be a kick at goal then for the Irish. Not a difficult kick really for Campbell. That portion of the national ground sheltered from the breeze. The air will be still. We look from the tough end. Ollie Campbell for Ireland. Well, not quite the Irishman's afternoon. It may be his birthday, but not everything has gone well for him today. It's now that we reach the quarter an hour to go milestone with this dropout 22 by Dacey for Wales. Price got the first hand to the ball. That's Pickering digging hard, number 7, and Perkins did well to get with him. And Wyatt adds the final touch. The flag is up. In contrast to Ollie Campbell on the Irish side, it has been a good day for Mark Wyatt. Most of what he's done has turned out well. Ireland's 10-metre line. Jeff Squire, not for the first time, his hand's just letting him down. This is Kiernan, Mick Kiernan. Tackled in the end by Butler. Good tackle by the Welsh captain. Billy James pursuing Campbell. Campbell running into 6, Jeff Squire.
It's interesting to note that Ireland are going for the two-man line-out. They've got no confidence now in their middle jumpers, and they're opting for the short line-outs.
Ireland's 10-metre line. Terry Holmes with the ball. Jeff Squire seems able to bend and pick up and tear his way away. He finds Holmes very close to him. There hadn't been a scrimmage, so the Irishman wasn't offside. Holmes has still got the strength, but surely they had then, and Kieran Fitzgerald looking to be some metres offside. Here's McGrath, the undefended Welsh right. Holmes is trying to cover it. Good tackle on his opposite number. Fitzgerald, Ireland's captain, arrived, and possibly that's the compensatory penalty that Wales should have had a few seconds earlier. Referee Trigg coming along and awarding a red penalty close to their 10-metre line. Passing off the floor, the technical offence. Wyatt bangs the ball down the touchline. The interesting thing about the line-out is that since half-time, Ireland have had no possession. That means no possession. That's Dacey for Wales. This is Richards. Taken by Phil Orr. McGrath picks up, delivers to Mick Kiernan, and Wales have to backpedal. The touch flag up deep within the Welsh 22. The crowd getting behind Wales. 20 points to 9. Wales lead at the national ground. There are 11 minutes remaining. Perkins can't quite bring it down on the Welsh side. Pickering falls well to encourage Wales to ruck. They do. This is Wyatt off Holmes' pass. So the Welsh effort has perhaps ebbed a little since the magnificent period in the middle of the game. But they're still looking comfortably as they resist most things that Ireland seek to throw at them. That's hands on the ball at the bottom of the ruck. And the penalty going to Wales. Willie Duggan can't believe it. Ireland's most capped number 8 sets off back to cover Wyatt's line kick. The ball's up to halfway. So Ireland up to all kinds of tricks to try desperately to salvage some scraps of possession from the line-out, which is a lost cause, really. Norster, one of the men who's helped to defeat them. That's the first ball then they've had in the second half. Irwin trying to use it. Phil Orr, who's turned out to be a lively prop, belying his 32 years, has appeared a lot in the open this afternoon. Here's Holmes. The touch flag is up. And number 9 has done it again. He's put Wales right back into the Irish 22. That'll be a fine platform from which to attack the champions as the end of the game approaches. John Williams, if you were on the field at the moment, how would you see these final 10 minutes? Do you think there are more tries in it for Wales?
Well, yes, if they want them, I'm sure there are, but I'm sure Eddie Butler's telling Holmes, you know, just keep us down, or just kick us down to their trial and let them make the mistakes, and we might pick up the odd try. But this game has been played at a fantastic pace, and it's not surprising that Eddie Butler's having a breather now, and the Welsh boys are tired. I dread to think what Moskey and his old boys are feeling now.
The partnership of 9 and 10 for Wales, Holmes and Dacey, a rapidly maturing one, quickly.
Certainly, you know, and I think Dacey's done himself a real favour for the Lions tour with these last 2 games he's had.
So worried expressions on the faces of the Irish forwards as they try to summon their defence within their own 22. This then is where Wales will want to kick the play, clamp the play for the final 8 or 9 minutes of this match. They lead the champions by 20 points to 9. The throw is not straight though. The scrummage dropped by Wales, and it seemed that number 2, Billy James, had broken the binding, and that's why it went down. It's an up and under, a variation in tactics. Ireland trying to keep the ball alive and increase their chances of using it. Smuggling by Staff Jones, trying to suck in the Irish back row and create a little more room for the Welsh halves. Holmes has a look and finds Dacey. It's behind Finn, number 11. Elgin Rees doing a good job of pressurising Moss Finn, and Dacey was there as well, so the little Irish left wing didn't get any chance at all to counter-attack. Let's see whether this ball goes to Norster halfway down the line. Some magnificent line-out work by him, nearly bringing it down on the Welsh side that time, but he was impeded as he was at the height of his jump. And that's hardly army discipline as Kieran Fitzgerald tries to tell Mr. Trigg what actually happened, but the referee, unmoved, penalises the Irish, and Wyatt is brought up to kick at goal. Now, from this sector of the ground, he's missed 2 place kicks at goal in the second half, and I'm sure he'll want to draw this one in properly. And if he glances at the scoreboard, you'll see that a successful kick here will advance the Welsh lead to 23 points to 9. A penalty attempt by Mark Wyatt for Wales from 30 metres. That one travelled the way he wanted it to. Wales are up to a lead of 23-9. And it seems that